All right, everybody, welcome to the comic panel. I'm Cody.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawenta.
And today we are talking about Batman, The Long Halloween, written by Jeph Loeb and art by Tim Sale. And this is the final installment of our holiday-themed episodes, and a good ending point, I think. So far we have gone through, we did Santa, which was Christmas. We did Claus, which was also Christmas. We did the DC Valentine's Day special. And then this one I figured was just going to be Halloween only, but it actually goes through 12 different holidays. Or is it 13 holidays?
Well, it starts and ends on Halloween.
Yeah, it starts and ends on
Halloween. But it's Halloween the next year.
Yeah, yes. Okay. I had to make sure. Yeah, the last chapter is called Punishment. That's not a holiday. And I guess technically it's like Roman holiday or something is one chapter, which is just a birthday in the story. But I don't know. Are birthdays holidays? I kind of get...
if you're Jesus.
I don't get work off for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Unless you take work off, you can. If you schedule.
I could take work off for my dog's birthday.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, so this book is it was written in 1996 and 1997. And it is a follow-up both to, Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale did 3 Halloween specials in Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. And that was basically, I think, collected as Batman Haunted Night. And it is also following up the continuity of Batman Year One, which we covered, I think, a year and a half ago, or thereabouts. So be sure you can go back on our podcast and look for that episode. But yeah, and this was popular enough that it did spawn 2 sequels, Batman Dark Victory and Catwoman Win in Rome, which take place right after. So yeah, this project got its start when Archie Goodwin, a publisher or an editor, approached Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale at San Diego Comic-Con, asking them basically if they wanted to do more Batman work. And it was actually Mark Waid who influenced Loeb, saying that since he was going to be working in the Year One continuity, that he should focus more on Harvey Dent, prior to becoming Two-Face.
And gangsters.
But I don't think Mark Waid necessarily had that.
Oh, yeah, it's not Mark Waid.
Yeah. But yeah. And then, speaking of Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale, Jeph Loeb is a seasoned comic book writer and film and television writer. Quickly for the film and TV, he produced and wrote on Smallville and Lost. For film, he worked on Commando and Teen Wolf. He co-executive produced Heroes, and he was the head and executive vice president of Marvel Television. Actually, before I talk about his comics, I'll jump over to Tim Sale. Tim Sale unfortunately passed away in June 16th, 2022, just 2 years ago. And he was very well known for his collaborations with Jeph Loeb, although, not solely collaborating with him. But he worked on, with Jeph Loeb, Challengers of the Unknown, Batman Haunted Night, Wolverine and Gambit Victims, Batman The Long Halloween, Superman for All Seasons, Batman Dark Victory, Daredevil Yellow, Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Gray, Catwoman When in Rome, Solo, and Captain America White. Yeah, so that's kind of their bio there. And yeah. As far as this story, The Long Halloween, is also influenced multiple films. It was one of two comics that influenced Christopher Nolan, in particular The Dark Knight, the second movie in his Batman trilogy, and The Batman, the more recent Matt Reeves Batman movie. But yeah. So, Jake, do you want to like kind of go over what happens in this?
Yeah. So, I mean, the broadest strokes are there's a killer who is killing the members of the Falcone crime family.
I always wonder, is it like, because it looks like it should be said Falcone, but then it's like Falcone seems right, but then it's like, is that too close to Maroni, which is the other family? Like,
yeah, it's weird, but there's a serial killer who is killing members of the crime family on major holidays. So Halloween, obviously, and then Christmas, New Year's, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, and this goes on, and the book's about Batman, Jim Gordon, and I almost said Two-Face, Harvey Dent, trying to find out who's doing it and make sure, just stop doing that. Gotham's got enough problems. Don't need another serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's like they think that they're going to get it, like, like there's no way that we could. I can't remember how long they say it would take, like, February. Yeah.
I'll go till February.
Yeah, and then it takes a whole year. Yeah, and we have budding romance between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, but also, kind of a relationship that's unclear between Batman and Catwoman, who, are the same people. And, yeah, also the Joker is, hearing about the first two holiday murders, decides that he wants to find out who is behind it and kill him, basically out of jealousy.
Big enough for the two of us.
Yeah. Which is so funny because it's like, there's other killers. Like,
yeah, like homicidal maniacs are a dime a dozen in Gotham, but for some reason
really
this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it's because it's caught the attention of the newspapers, in particular. But yeah, it is kind of silly, but I guess that's kind of the Joker's thing. So, yeah, and then, oh yeah, also like kind of in the middle-ish, Poison Ivy takes over Bruce Wayne's mind. Yeah, there's multiple things where, like, basically Bruce Wayne kind of gets, like, in the way of what Batman's mission is, unfortunately. But yeah, most of these instances, honestly, are actually because Falcone, whatever his last name is, he is starting to hire, the people that are from Arkham Asylum, giving them ways to escape and giving them special missions, to rob the bank and to,
figure out who Holiday is.
Yeah, exactly.
The Riddler.
Yeah. But ultimately, yeah, then they think that it, like, you know, Holiday might be Bruce Wayne. Harvey Dent is like really sure about that. Obviously, Batman is knowing that it's not the case, but can't implicate himself. And then
like Batman and Jim think it might be Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
And like by the end, doesn't Batman kind of admit, I think I was blinded by the fact that I thought it was him, but I didn't want to really do anything about it?
Yeah, they really get away with kind of...
Yeah, they kind of do like the everybody did it kind of gimmick.
Like, it wasn't as bad. Like, I thought it was really going to be like Murder on the Orient Express for a second, where it was like...
where literally everyone did it.
Yeah. But then it was like, no, not really. But it was kind of like well, I thought there was Harvey, and man, I feel so guilty that it wasn't. And it was like, actually, it was a little Harvey too. And so I was right.
There was a little Harvey in there.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, the scene where they have like the Riddler being like, I think it's so-and-so, or it could be so-and-so. And then like they have actual panels of that character doing the murders, possibly, hypothetically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's actually the first time that I thought of like the whole Murder on the Orient Express. I was like, oh, is it literally going to be like each murder is like a different person? And they're just like, you know, taking turns. But no, that is not how it works out. It was the work of 3 independent people. First being Falcone's son, Alberto.
Who's not supposed to be involved in the business. Kind of like a meek person, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very like, yeah, kind of, I don't know, like...
He's like, if you've ever seen The Godfather, he's supposed to be Vito Corleone, like the son who is never supposed to be part of the business, but supposed to be like the legal, like the rest of the family is all black sheeps, and he's the good one.
Yeah.
But then, because his dad, you know, neglected him and just sent him off everywhere so he could be the good son, and his birthday happened to fall on Valentine's Day, he decided to become a holiday-themed serial killer. As you do.
Yeah. You know, I was wondering, like, I wasn't clear that was his birthday. He was, like, you know, throwing, like, stuff out there, you know, and I wasn't, because he was all like, guess when my birthday is. It's on a holiday. Is it this one? Is it this one, you know? And I was like, which one is it, though?
I thought he said at the end that it was Valentine's Day.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. He might have. I just was all like, is it that one?
I mean, he could also still be lying, I guess.
No, I mean, you're
that's like the worst part, right? You'd never know.
Yeah.
Because he is ultimately lying because he didn't actually do all the murders, even though he copped to all of them.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's true. He didn't. So the other person that was implicated, as we kind of said earlier, is Harvey Dent. I'm trying to remember. He killed...
Well, it's Harvey Dent. They get the thing where he gets the acid thrown in his face and becomes Two-Face.
Right.
And then he goes around first releasing a bunch of criminals. He lets Mad Hatter, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy. Solomon Grundy is also in this, which is a weird coincidence because you read about him in the last episode too.
Joker.
Yeah, Joker. That's right.
Yeah,
but not Calendar Man.
Not Calendar Man. Yeah, I know. And Catwoman's there too. So they go to Roman and try to kill him, but Batman's there, getting a big fight. Two-Face escapes, and then goes to kill. What's his name? Maroni or Marconi.
Yeah.
Crime guy.
Yeah, Marconi, and then the like snitch in the legal department.
Yeah, his assistant Vernon. Yeah,
Vernon.
Who he had given Marconi the acid to throw in Harvey Dent's face.
And so, since this all happens on Halloween, that's how they tie it in. Harvey Dent was also kind of the Halloween killer.
See, okay.
Sort of.
I thought that he, the wet hair on New Year's or Christmas, I can't remember which one. I thought that was part of it, that he also...
Yeah, it might be. It's kind of weird with Gilda, Harvey Dent's wife, at the very, very end, talks about her and her husband having the same idea. Like, I guess trying to kill more mobsters so that Harvey Dent as a DA would have less work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it's interesting.
That's the third person it is Gilda, Harvey Dent's wife.
Yeah, Gilda Dent.
She's the main one, isn't she?
Yeah, she's the one that starts it off, basically.
And she's convinced that Harvey killed Alberto on New Year's.
Yeah.
But if Alberto was part of this, didn't he just fake his death?
Right, yeah. I was just going to say that.
Is it just unreliable narrator kind of thing where, everybody else's point of view?
Yeah. It is interesting, or did, Alberto just, not get did not get killed by Harvey Dent, even though he was going for a kill shot kind of thing. And then he was like, well, I'll use this to my advantage. Yeah.
It's just weird that three people had, the same gimmick idea at once.
Okay, one of them had it, and then the others were like, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it's very much...
what needs to get done.
Yeah, just copycats, basically, that are it can fly under the radar on my stuff.
And then you think, Sophia, right? Where she's technically the holiday killer for April Fool's Day in that she doesn't kill the Riddler.
Is she was the one that shot at Riddler?
That's what I thought.
I guess I didn't. I
didn't think that, but I guess I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Did you think a different hand came in and did it like the usual?
I guess I thought...
But then why doesn't Riddler just say that then?
It's the Riddler.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, so are we supposed to believe that Sophia dies when she falls off the building? Like Catwoman can't save her or whatever?
I mean, she's not like a ninja, so... But I guess we don't see a body,
We don't see a body, yeah. And Catwoman scratches her in the same pattern that she scratched her dad.
Oh my gosh. I mean... Okay. So the April Fool's Day, it isn't Sophia. Sophia just pushes him to the alleyway. You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of people involved still. Oh yeah, and
but also, wait, doesn't that mean that the Riddler just saw who shot at him anyway?
It was dark.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to look back at the scene where the final scene that Batman questions him. I can't remember it, but it's when he goes to the bar in the daytime.
I will say though, that as interesting I guess it is for the April Fools is shoot an outline around Riddler. He's like, when does a killer not kill? When it's April Fools or whatever.
Yeah.
The gun that they use, made up gun, so what do I know? Should not contain that many bullets, so I guess the Riddler just stood there while whoever it was reloaded.
Don't worry about it, you know?
That's too much, but that's, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So Calendar Man was right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Calendar Man kept
changing the different pronouns around and being like, there's two people.
Yeah. And honestly, yeah, I was kind of confused why Batman wasn't picking up on that a little bit more. I was just it's I don't know. I mean, you should be interrogating that. Even though you're not going to get a firm answer out of Calendar Man, you should at least pick that up as a clue. He keeps on saying he and then she. This might be more complicated than I think it is. Like
he's really stuck on listening to Calendar Man, but not really doing anything with what he says.
Yeah.
It feels like.
I don't know. I guess, yeah. We just gotta say, like, this is inexperienced Batman. This is rewriting. They did make a Batman Year 2, but this is, like, writing over that instead. So this is his second year as Batman, like, I guess.
So he mentions at one point it's a Gemini. They're born, their birthday is soon. Are they referring to Harvey?
Yeah. Yes.
Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, were those the twin ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
he was meant to become Two-Face.
all Gemini are just so two-faced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, like, I mean, you can. I just sighed at that, but also I love, like, the Batman villains and how, like, obvious they are. You know, like the Riddler is, like, Enigma, Edward Nigma.
Oh yeah.
Or sometimes goes by Mr. E. It's mystery.
I mean, it's nominative determinism, you know?
Yeah. Nominative determinism. But yeah. So getting into, like, just, like, I guess the meat of this book, though, it was fun. It kind of being as long as it is, it's 13 issues. It was kind of like, I don't know, yeah, like, I mean, we mentioned off mic earlier, like, it's called The Long Halloween, and in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, this is just, it's long because there's, like, a lot of stuff going on. I didn't realize it was gonna, like, take place over a whole year. But yeah, I mean, it's still, I appreciate the kind of grounded story that it's trying to tell. Even with, like, fantastical elements of Batman, of course.
There's a lot of nice character moments.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Mother's Day for Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually had to reread over that one just because I realized that, like, I had missed something, and it was essentially the way that the fear toxin from Scarecrow was affecting him. They do go over it later on, in case you missed that part, but yeah, I was still, like, I didn't realize what was going on, like, the difference between what he was seeing and what Captain Gordon was seeing, until I looked over it again. But yeah.
I mean, it is a little weird that, like, he gets exposed to it as Batman and then, like, goes home, dresses back up as Bruce Wayne to then, like, go about the town.
Well, it's probably like a trying to get it off of you kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Trying to clean out, but it doesn't work fully.
Yeah, okay, I can get that.
Yeah, last semblance of sense. Yeah, like, all right, get the clothes off of me. Less contact.
Well, so yeah, it's pretty long. It's 13 issues. I think there's a lot of good escalation where it's like, oh my gosh, these people are dropping like flies, and this is making things worse for everybody involved because they're just getting more. Really, it's just escalation. Everybody's getting more intense because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's good for us, good for the city.
Yeah.
Everybody's just getting more violent. Once they started, because it starts off as kind of like a crime family stuff, and then it starts to involve Batman villains. Because like you're saying, it's kind of grounded, and then it gets a little fantastical with like Poison Ivy being hired and then the Mad Hatter and Scarecrow fighting, trying to work together.
Yeah. It's really like, I mean, you could see this story as, kind of almost a, like, not, rather than a gang war story, it's more of like a shift in Gotham, from all of these like street level like crime to this more like, fantasy based, super criminals with
they kind of make them human enough though, where you can see that they like used to be people.
Yeah, exactly. It is like it's a natural progression, or at least the story makes it a natural progression. That like, these people exist and they are what's next for Gotham,
See, at first when I was reading it, I was like, man, okay, they brought in Poison Ivy, and oh my gosh, now they're bringing in, Riddler, this character. I was like, I kind of feel like they're trying to shove in as many villains as possible. This feels a little checkmarky. But then the part where they've all congregated in Falcone's office, Roman, and they were like, this is our city. I was like, oh, I get it. Like you're saying, the like the regular criminals versus the like super villains.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that Penguin is there because we don't actually see Penguin at
that
all.
was the one. I was like, huh, what's he up to?
So many like, two short people in big hats.
Awesome.
Yeah. I do really like a lot of the designs of Tim Sale. Although I will say that I feel like later interpretations of his Catwoman design is all like, yeah, she's so like sexy in the like one piece bodysuit. I'm like, no, that is not. I
don't know. She's almost. I don't know what the right word for it. It's almost a little bit grotesque. And I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool in that way, but it's also like you'll get like in like the Batman Arkham games, like I think you can unlock it in a costume as a costume, and it's like that's not what they were going for.
Yeah, they missed the one part. Like it's just so skin tight where it's unpleasant to look at. Like you can see her ribs in certain parts, or not ribs. Maybe it's the trapezial muscle. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
you can see her muscles.
Yeah, you can also
it's cool.
You can see her ribs too. And,
okay.
Yeah, and like the 6-pack she has. Yeah, which I mean honestly, kind of good on them for also like doing like kind of more proper muscle definition on a woman super person in the 90s. But yeah, it is kind of grotesque, and it like I thought after seeing it a couple times, I was like, this is almost like if like Black Sad had like a hairless cat, person. Like,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
They're weird cat ears.
Yeah.
I love it though. It's like unpleasant, yet kind of you get that it's supposed to be a little bit sexy.
Yeah, and they kind of move a little bit like cat ears. Like, I mean, you don't really see the motion, but you do see them in different positions. And I'm like, huh, how does that work? But that's cool.
Also, yeah, I don't typically care for Catwoman, Batman flirting or whatever, but like you're saying, I kind of like the difference between the Selina and Bruce Wayne getting along versus like Batman kind of interrogating Catwoman, like, why are you always around when and why are you always snooping?
Yeah, it was really interesting, like, because it did feel like we never really got an answer to that, which, I mean, I'm sure, like, that's part of the follow-up Catwoman When in Rome. But, like, I was all like, are we gonna get an answer to this? Is she the holiday killer, actually? Like, like, Batman is not considering her at all, and not even, like, consider her for a second, and then, like, nope, not her. Like, we're just not getting any consideration. and at that point, we had not gotten the, you know, the whole, like, Calendar Man saying that, you know, one person is a she. So, like, who's the other lady in this story? Oh. But yeah.
I had my suspicions. You know, I figured it was gonna be like his son, because, you know, it's always the like quieter character, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to make it a big reveal.
See, yeah, I didn't suspect the son because, like, obviously the son, you know, fakes his death or whatever. But once the son was revealed, I knew that there had to be another. And then I was thinking it was going to be Sophia. I thought it was going to be brother sister. You know, they both had their own reasons for disliking their father.
That was another thing that I really liked how they showed was Sophia like giving her dad a gift and him being like, thanks.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like it was really good showing the relationships in those small moments.
He says the gesture is appreciated and then walks away.
I get what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah.
But no, so like I thought it was going to be the son, and then he dies, and I was like, I guess maybe he faked his death? I was like, that definitely made me kind of go, I don't know. Yeah. But when they did the Riddler section, with the Riddler being like, it could be the aunt, it could be so-and-so, it could be Maroni, I was like, oh no, you're confusing me. Because they showed them actually doing it, and I was like, wait, is this hypothetical?
Or is it happening? Yeah. No, for sure. That did throw the scent a little bit. Like, I mean, yeah, just seeing Catwoman do it, I was like, yeah, why wouldn't it be Catwoman, you know? Yeah. I think I always knew it wasn't the sister. Like, that just didn't make sense to me. It seemed like a too obvious, you know, red herring, I guess. Or suspect. I guess never a red herring.
Too obvious.
Yeah. But yeah. Then who else was the possible? I don't know. I thought I was on the part. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, there's Catwoman, and then oh yeah, Maroni. That's right. You said Maroni, and I just didn't remember it. Yeah. But that would be like, he wouldn't get his hands that dirty, I think. Like, not that he's above it, but just like, you know, it's too easy to become complicit kind of thing. You know, somebody would see him kind of thing. That's why I didn't think of him ever being the one. And again, it was just too obvious. But yeah, I really liked the when the holiday killings happen, the black and white with like a single, you know, color object kind of thing. That was cool.
Isn't that a reference to I don't remember at the moment.
Well, it's like it's a noir thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it kind of makes me think of like the Rosebud stuff.
Oh, Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
Citizen Kane doesn't have a single color thing.
It doesn't? Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I don't think so.
I mean, it is noir, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's the era.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I mean, Schindler's List has, like, you know, the red coat. And I think Sin City has, you know, stark, like, red and black and white. I I can't think of any other movies, and not ones that, like, you know, line up with like specific killings and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not saying that that's not a thing. I just don't know the reference if it is. But yeah, I thought it was cool. And also, you know, so in the edition that I read, it has a conversation between Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer, and it kind of annoyed me to learn that Christopher Nolan was like influenced by this book, because I was like, where is the style of Tim Sale's art in your movie? Like, you really just said, we just need the Jeph Loeb parts, you know, and not even that really, just like some of the stuff. Like, I don't know.
No, in Batman Begins, there's a lot of like, especially Gotham being like a weird gothic, like obviously in Dark Knight and stuff they start using Chicago and that kind of loses it, but in Batman Begins at least there's a lot more like personality of Gotham.
I could see that for sure, but I'm also like, I don't know, I just feel like there's so much like creativity in the art style and like, you know, stuff that you could do. Like, you don't have to like do like prosthetics to people's faces and stuff like that, but just like, I mean like I was just saying, the black and white with the color, like that'd be a cool thing to maybe incorporate sometimes. Like, I mean, it's not like Christopher Nolan is not known slightly like with Memento for doing like black and white and color, you know, contrasts and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like he could have gotten a little bit weirder with it, but I guess maybe DC had more of a leash. It was all like, no, don't do too weird. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't his fault.
It's in a comic.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, also the quote that's from the conversation inside is also on the cover. It says, "The Long Halloween is more than a comic book. It's an epic tragedy, Christopher Nolan." I'm like, first of all, it is a comic book, and that's fine. Don't besmirch comics.
Hey, this was 2005. This is
only nerds read comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And then also like epic tragedy. I don't know. I guess. Like, is Harvey Dent supposed to be a tragic figure?
I was gonna say, I think we're desensitized to seeing Harvey Dent get acid thrown in his face like 100 times.
Yeah.
I'll be real, I thought not the car bomb, but that, you know, the box.
Yeah.
The mail bomb. Right. I was like, oh, okay, this is when it happens. I was like ready.
Yeah, I did think that too, actually.
Yeah, we're just in anticipation of it now.
Right, yeah, totally. I was like, and then after it didn't happen, I was kind of like flipping through. I was like, is he even going to become Two-Face on this? And then I found a page and I was like, okay, yeah, he is.
I mean, what is Harvey Dent without Two-Face?
Yeah.
Eventual transformation.
Mm-hmm. But he was in year one, and he didn't turn into Two-Face there, obviously. So, yeah, it is a lot about that anticipation, though, and building up that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, I mean, I've already kind of complimented Tim Sale's artwork, but, like, you know, really cool designs. Joker's teeth are awesome. Yeah.
Just the use of black and white, even in the like colored sections, is really good, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The way that he uses like shadow and stuff. Like, there's a scene actually, it's after the Father's Day chapter, I believe, because Bruce Wayne gets arrested, but then he comes home and him and Alfred are talking about his father, Thomas Wayne, who had he had done an under the table operation to save Falcone when he was younger. And they're like talking about like, you know, basically Thomas Wayne's like culpability in the future actions of Falcone, basically because he survived that day. But I'm trying to see if basically there's a scene where like Bruce is on the stairs and he just like, he looks so old and so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that like last panel where they're looking down at the dinner table and you can just kind of see their two silhouettes along the wall. Even that part, I'm just like, that's so good. I remember reading it and going, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I think one of the previous scenes with Harvey where Harvey has gotten his little coin and you kind of never see his face or his eyes at least.
Yeah.
That's so good. You just see him flipping the coin. You just see his silhouette doing that.
Yeah, and right before that, those three panels, there's his face is, you know, silhouetted, but one half is, you know, he's not looking up at Gilda, but it's still like the light is shining on, you know, most of half of his face. And it's like, you know, just that subtle foreshadowing. It is really good.
Just the dialogue too. I know we were kind of talking about the art.
Go ahead.
But man, I really like listening to even just Harvey talk about how much it upsets him that, you know, in his opinion, Bruce Wayne got away because of his money, you know, just like all the rest. Just the same as Falcone.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really interesting the way that you know, Harvey sees Bruce Wayne versus the way that he sees Batman. Because like, yeah, he gets attacked in the beginning. Harvey Dent does, when he's at, the wedding that kind of starts this whole thing off. And then Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle like come up and like, basically, I think because they're walking towards him, the people that are beating him up like kind of go off, you know, and leave. And so like basically Selina Kyle's all like, well, if we hadn't been here, you know, he would have been worse off. And he's like, yeah, whatever, you know, like I don't care about you high society types and your ivory tower. But like meanwhile he views Batman as like, you know, you're getting things done, you know.
It's like he say like he can cross a line that we can't. And Jim Gordon's like, no, we still don't want to cross that line. Even Batman shouldn't.
Yeah. So yeah, it is like, it's really interesting dichotomy, and like that along with like, you know, Jim Gordon having said like, there was a time when I thought you were Batman, you know, and it's like, so like they are really, you know, it's that whole like mirror image thing, you know, in Two-Face, you know, it's like you know, they reflect each other in some ways.
Batman seems good and Bruce Wayne seems corrupt as the rest, even if he's trying not to be. Oof.
Yeah. They both have sides that want to work outside of the system, basically. But, you know, eventually Harvey ends up doing it in the wrong way, crossing the line that even Batman can't cross. Yeah. In some ways it's like, you know, it is like a Two-Face reflection thing, but it's also like Batman holds within himself both Harvey Dent and Jim Gordon, you know, and only together as like, you know, the triumvirate basically does Batman work.
Best friends.
okay, this is just a random page I flipped to, honestly, but like the part where Luigi Marconi gets shot on Father's Day too, another great page. Oh, actually, that does remind me probably what I was going to say, which was, I feel like in some ways this is like, I don't know, the art of Tim Sale is different from the art of David Michelini's Year One, where like Year One was like very much focused on kind of like, I don't know, the world a lot, you know, and like scenery. And I feel like this was like much more like attuned to character and atmosphere.
Yeah, I would say the majority of it is like shrouded in black most of the time. Like it doesn't really matter the layout. We kind of don't travel through the scenes because it's so cinematic. Like you're right. It's very focused on character.
Oh, also, I totally said the wrong last name, but David Mazzucchelli is the art on Year One. Yeah, in that one, like, I love the art in that, but, like, for completely different reasons, you know? Like, I guess, really, his, Mazzucchelli is so, I'm looking for the right word. It's not, I was gonna say refined, but that's wrong. It's, like, a word for less,
like minimalist?
Yeah, it's minimal, you know? And then, like, but Sale has like these like such like over the top, you know, designs, like so much going on. It's really interesting just to compare them.
Yeah, this is like kind of a rare situation, or at least I'm unaware if it's happened more often, of like a really standout single story being spun off into like another standout successful story, but by a completely different team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, it is interesting because they tried before. Like, this is, I think, roughly 10 years of, you know, real world time between these two stories. And they, in between that time, they did try. They came out with a Batman Year Two from a different creative team. That didn't work, you know. They and then they even made Batman Year 3, I think, within that time, and then they were like, nah, let's kind of just go back to the drawing board, and then made Batman The Long Halloween. So it is a really unique kind of situation, you know. Like, I really can't think of a time where it'd be like, yeah, we made this, we want a sequel to it, we made 2 sequels, but they didn't do well, so we're just going to make another sequel, like, to the first one that did well, and then it does well.
Yeah, I think I forgot how much Batman Year One is kind of like, people look normal in it.
Yeah.
Versus this, where like, it's so stylized, everybody's a caricature in certain ways. It's very fun. Especially for the outlandishness.
Yeah. And I mean, you can even see that as like kind of within the theme of this book, that it's like, you know, the outlandish characters taking over Gotham City, you know, it's like it's already there in the art style. Like, Gotham is changing.
I will say the one thing that always ends up catching my eye is how big they make Sophia sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
They make her face really big and her hands really big in certain scenes.
Oh, yeah. I think I noticed that too. Like, you know, she just has like, yeah, a large face.
Like when she was next to her dad, her face was like way bigger than his.
Yeah. Although, yeah, sometimes people just have like, yeah, there's like, I mean, like, Marconi has like kind of a big face, which, is it Sophia and Marconi are in love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, they kiss once.
Yeah. Yeah. it's really interesting the way that people are drawn in their faces, you know, and how like certain features get smushed and others get like elongated. And I really love like also the keeping the detail of the like the dramatic scratches that Falcone has too. Like it's not.
So did he get this from Catwoman? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think that happens at the end of year 1, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. I feel like I vaguely remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to remember this more than year 1.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it has been a minute since we read it, so, you know, it does have kind of that recency bias to go in for it. But
what happens in year 1? I've forgotten.
Yeah, so in year 1, you know, Jim Gordon moves to Gotham with his family. Bruce Wayne also moves back to Gotham after training. He figures out that he has to become Batman. You know, he can't just be like, you know, hide his identity and not be somebody. And meanwhile, I think Jim Gordon is working on a case, I think having to do with like, yeah, mobsters and stuff.
Yeah, it's not really so like you're saying, it's kind of, this is an escalation of going towards the super villains versus that one's like just regular criminals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, the Joker's just so memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I loved his Christmas scenes.
Yeah, the Christmas scene was fun, and I really liked him
being the waiter.
Or no. I was gonna say talking to the family and being the Grinch.
Oh, yeah.
Reciting lines from the Grinch.
Well, even with his plan with the prop plane or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kill a bunch of people. And maybe the holidays in that crowd.
Yeah, that was so fun. Like, I mean, he threatens that to to Falcone. Is like, you know, if you don't kill him, I will just kill everybody in Gotham, and then I'll kill him. You know, it's simple math.
Yeah, by elimination.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
oh yeah, that's right. Actually, Gordon. Sorry, this is going back to year 1 real quick. But a lot of the time, Gordon is also spending time trying to hunt down Batman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Until the ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because somebody kidnaps his wife and son at the end.
Just too.
Oh yeah, that's also the one where he cheats on his wife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Also, it was interesting. I feel like I've looked this up before. Does it just get retconned, or is this like, I don't know. I know that Batman post-crisis continuity is a little bit fuzzy, always. Especially,
you could say that, yeah.
Especially between, you know, Crisis in 1985 to like the 2000s, like, you know, 1999, basically. But like, Barbara Gordon is actually James Gordon's niece, like the Barbara Gordon that will become Batgirl, not his wife, obviously.
Well, no, because Barbara Gordon, James Gordon's wife, is pregnant in this, isn't she?
I don't think so. They definitely don't talk about that like they talked about Barbara Gordon, James's wife, being pregnant in year 1.
Because we see James Gordon's son later.
Yeah.
I thought she was pregnant again with Barbara.
I don't think so. And I'm pretty sure they name drop.
Also, you shouldn't just name your kids after each other, because this is what every conversation is going to be.
Yeah. It is super confusing. I agree. Let me see here, because it was at New Year's too. Let's see here. Yeah, Jim's niece, Babs, is staying with us for her school vacation. So, yeah, unless there's, like, I mean, Barbara gets called Babs. If there's another Babs in their family, then that's just like too much.
There are 2 names in this family.
Yeah. Yeah, this probably just stayed in fuzzy continuity, because I'm pretty sure I read that later on James Gordon Jr. Like becomes a killer, basically.
Yeah, that's also like a different post-crisis thing, because that's when Dick Grayson was Batman for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm sure that, yeah, people were all like, we want to respect Batman Year One and the Long Halloween only as much as we want to. And then they were like, but what about James Gordon Jr.? Oh, okay. I guess we got to talk about him. But yeah, I'm also like, so when are we going to establish that Babs is Gordon's niece? Is that going to ever come up? Or I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird continuity's weird. Don't worry about it though. Don't be like me.
Yeah, be like me. Forgot that who his daughter is.
Yes.
So I had no qualms with any of this.
Man, it does make me, this was like, I guess, yeah, way back when we did our episode on Year One, I was like, this makes me want to read Year Two and Year Three. I want to see how that is. But now kind of knowing that Year Two and Year Three didn't really live up to Year One, and that this is like, I guess I knew that this was in some ways a follow-up, but I think I had seen it like described as a spiritual follow-up. But no, I'm like, this is directly following this up. Like, direct references, characters are acting the same as they had acted, so I'm like, this makes me now want to read the follow-ups to Long Halloween, the Dark Victory and When in Rome.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see more Catwoman, I guess. I don't know.
I'm curious what she's up to. She seems to pop in and help out sort of every once in a while, but for the most part, she kind of just watches.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't even do a lot of robbery.
No.
She tries once.
Yeah.
Doesn't go great.
Like, she stumbled upon that warehouse full of cash just to then give that location to Batman and Harvey Dent.
Good point.
Well, you don't know how much.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
And Harvey's line there where he's like, it could just go missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved that actually, because it's like, it is so much like Batman is obviously like rich, so it's like, you don't have to care. Like, that has to be like, like Batman does have to worry about like not killing people, but you don't have to worry about like the impulse to steal, actually. Like,
oh.
Yeah, and like they keep commenting on how hard Harvey has to work to afford the house he's in, even though he's like the DA.
Yeah.
It's like, you could let Harvey take a couple dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would know.
Give Harvey a few bucks.
Yeah.
From yourself.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too. I was all like, man, if you're not gonna like let Harvey take this dirty money, you could at least like just be all like, the Wayne Foundation would like to like, give Harvey Dent a personal favor that is in no way ever, meant to be like a bribe.
Or just
like,
give him a little badge.
Yeah.
With money.
I promise.
Give him an Employee of the Month award.
Or, I don't know, start lobbying for better pay in the DA's office. Something.
I guess, yeah. Either way, Harvey's gonna be like, you're just trying to buy me off.
Yeah. It's true, yeah. He's probably not gonna, like, really accept it.
That's kind of funny how he would rather steal money from a criminal.
Mm-hmm. But it's because he's so influenced by all of the corruption around him, it's like, that's not corruption to him, it's just, like...
Justice.
It's justice, yeah, exactly. I think that, yeah, there's a lot of, I really do enjoy Two-Face as a character because, like, it does interrogate, like, justice, which is, like, you know, what Batman's ostensible goal is, you know, whereas, like, you know, Joker is, like, I mean, I do still love the Joker, but it is just kind of chaos, you know. It's more of, you know, the pure reflection of Batman, of, like, you know, his you know, his mental insecurity, essentially, you know, of why are you dressing up as a bat, like, you know, and like, you know, there's more constructive ways to work through your trauma here. You know, that's what the Joker is, basically. But, you know, to me, like, Two-Face really works more as, like, what Batman's goal he's trying to accomplish. And a reflection of that. So yeah, I really like Two-Face, and I'm glad that he was a major part of this book.
Even Falcone, like, accusing Batman, he goes, "You and the cops have let this drag on because it's, you know, our people dying. You don't care."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a really good part too, because it's like, I mean, well, as a reader, you know, being able to see everything, we know that that's not really the case, you know, like,
at least in the case of, like, Batman and Jim Gordon.
Yeah, maybe Harvey, you know, but especially because, you know, it allows him to keep killing if he is, like, part of the holiday killers. But yeah, it's like, still, it's like, it stings a little bit, you know, it's like, ugh.
I don't know, doesn't that go back to that thing of Batman being like, I kind of was blinded by the fact that I thought it was Harvey all along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does a little bit, you know. The thing is, though, it's like, yeah, that part almost doesn't work for me in some ways, because, like, you know, even Jim Gordon, like, kind of, like, gets heated at Batman. He's like, how long did you know, that it was Harvey? And so it's like, so if you suspected it was Harvey, or, yeah, I guess, is Batman just running around in circles because he doesn't want it to be Harvey, but he knows it is, you know? And
it's not, but that's the thing, it's not even Harvey.
Yeah.
Well, even if, like, he knows, he still needs a way to prove it.
True.
Because otherwise it's just Batman beating up the DA.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, it's like, if they're supposed to be working as a team, then he should let Gordon in on it too, you know? Like, hey, this is what I think. Obviously, Harvey can't know that this is what I think, but I'm starting to suspect him. I don't know.
I don't think Harvey killed before he became Two-Face.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because, like, when he is Two-Face, he's finally like, I've killed twice tonight. I did what needed to be done for now.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the whole thing of, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that he killed on New Year's also.
I don't think he killed Alberto. I think Alberto did it to himself.
Oh, man.
Like, why else would he embrace the idea of, like, okay, so they say in the back of the book, you see that they cut a page where they find a body washed up, and the coroner's like, oh yeah, it's Alberto. And so there was a body supposed to be in there, and that's like, a lot of readers were like, oh, it's so obvious they didn't show a body, it's obviously, you know, he's not dead.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they meant to show a body, it just got cut, that means there was a body involved, and so I suspect somebody had to have planted a fake body then. And it just seems like, would Alberto not die and then show up months later and be like, it was me all along?
Yeah.
Versus, like, choosing to fake his death and hiding out until he's like, yeah, it was me, because I've been being cool while I was gone.
Yeah. I don't know, yeah, so maybe then, was...
I think his wife just really wanted to believe that he was working towards the same goal as her in, like, the wrong way.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. And, man, yeah, I wonder if that comes back up in Dark Victory, too. You know, does Gilda, like, come back, or does Gilda start to see Two-Face? You know, like, cause like obviously at the end of this, you know, he's like, no newspapers or TV crews are gonna see him, you know, or anything. I guess he does get arrested though, but we don't get to see what happens after that. So I wonder if Gilda is gonna see Two-Face and be like, well, now we're on the same page, basically. Like, are they gonna join back up and be like a happy twisted family kind of thing, or is she just gonna like melt into the background like my mission is done? I don't know.
She kind of doesn't have a goal to work, right?
Yeah, I mean, she gets the last line in the book though. Let's see here. I believe in Harvey Dent.
Yeah, you can do no wrong. Oof.
Interesting.
But yeah, she said she did the first Halloween killing. She did the Thanksgiving one. She did the Christmas one.
Yeah.
And the only one she doesn't commit to, well, other than afterwards, she doesn't say the New Year's one. She didn't do it.
Yeah. And also, I'm sure Alberto probably did the house bomb because she wouldn't purposely blow herself and Harvey up.
Oh, it was the people she killed on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, but I guess, yeah, that's true.
I mean, they really did it. They just weren't willing to say who got them to do it.
Yeah, which, I mean, assuming that it was Alberto, though, that paid them off to do it.
I mean, I figured it was pretty obviously the Roman.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Because both the shooting of the nephew and the bombing happen on Halloween. So I feel like it was kind of a coincidence. Like, you know, I don't think...
Do they?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would have to read a little closer and think about that. I don't know.
Yeah, the time difference.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It doesn't mean it was... I don't know. They could have just literally been... You know, they're trying to look into us too much. They're getting in the way. Coincidence.
But, yeah, and then definitely, like, the end months killings, like, I mean, from basically Mother's Day, I think. I mean, you could, I guess, say also April Fool's since nobody died, but, around then, you know, it starts to be, well, probably also Valentine's Day. I bet that's actually probably one of the first, because that's supposed to be the birthday of Alberto. That's probably where he starts really killing people. And then, you know, it's like, it's the coroner and it's the aunt who's looking through the coroner's reports. You know, it's all to protect himself.
Yeah, those seemed a lot more kind of petty.
They're
just random people.
Yeah. Yeah, the Valentine's Day was like the big group of the Maronis at their personal restaurant.
It's great how much you can, like, think over this story.
Yeah. It really is.
I definitely want to get it in print.
Yeah, it does look good in print. Yeah, you get to, like, you know, there's a few, like, big double page spread kind of things. Yeah, and good coloring. Does Tim Sale do the color? No, Gregory Wright is on colors. And Richard Starkings in Comic Craft for letters.
They all did good jobs.
Yeah. I will say, actually, the captions, for, like, Batman, and probably if there's anybody else who has captions, but I think it's only Batman's thoughts that get captioned. I felt like I didn't really like the way it was done. Like, a lot of, like, lowercase in a font that I could have done without.
I don't know. I think that was... it wasn't as bad as the Frankenstein stuff from last week.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, those were so long.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, and that was, like, in cursive, right? Or,
yeah.
Yeah. yeah, cursive lettering is so hard to do well. But yeah, and the Solomon Grundy text looks great. So like, yeah, not a lot to complain about with the lettering. Just, I don't know, something about the captions just kind of like, but also they're definitely legible and, fine. I've certainly seen worse. Just weren't my
But I mean, if that's the main problem you have with the book, it's a pretty good book.
yeah, it's a pretty good book. Exactly.
The lettering of one character's text boxes was a little hard to read.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, I'm not even saying that it's like it's less of a, true, like they did something wrong and more of just like a artistic opinion, essentially. Like, I didn't personally like the way that they did it, not that it was functionally wrong. So yeah, pretty small criticism there.
Man, oh man, what a long Halloween.
Yeah. But good choice, Jake. Good pick. Good ending to our Halloween.
I couldn't
holiday.
decide on one holiday, so just hit a bunch of them.
Yeah. It's and I think that's what makes it great. So yeah, I think that's all that we have for today. If you are listening in on our podcast feed, be sure to be on the lookout. Our next episode is going to be a bonus episode where we talk about our theme and just like kind of chat about, comics and what we've been reading the last 4 weeks. It's kind of a new thing that we're trying, so be sure to check that out. Be on the lookout for that episode to drop. Until next time, I'm Cody.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Shawenta.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, or Podbean. You can support this podcast by sharing it with anyone you know and by rating and reviewing our podcast. You can also reach out to us with any thoughts you have on the things we talk about on Twitter at TheComicPanel1 and on Instagram and Facebook at TheComicPanel. We appreciate your feedback and look forward to sharing many more comic thoughts with you. Have a blessed day.